Zoom back.
I am now.
It was zoomed in, right?
Not that much, fuck. You just keep walking. You stay behind that line, because you keep. That's not my fault. No, this line right here. As long as you're behind this line.
Am I taller than the gold bar?
As of right now, yeah.
Sure.
We're gonna have to get a lot tougher than we are because we have problems that you wouldn't believe. During one of the debates, here's this guy, lying Ted Cruz. We know nobody likes him. I've never seen the guy. In fact,
for almost 6 decades, NASA's work has inspired millions and millions of Americans to imagine distant worlds and a better future right here on Earth. I'm delighted to sign this bill. It's been a long time since a bill like this has been signed, reaffirming our national commitment to the core mission of NASA. I'm not sure we want to do it.
We could send Congress to space.
We could.
I got better things to do.
Home of the brave. Home of the brave.
I got better things to do. Watch me. You don't need to touch me. Why I got better things to do. Watch me. You don't need to touch me. What I choose to do.
So, I mean, how anti-establishment are you when your building is shaped like a gold bar? Now, let's take that same candidate that run as an anti-establishment candidate to become president of the most powerful nation in the world and succeeds on being an anti-establishment candidate. Now, let me sort of start this. So let me get this straight here. So you guys all voted for Trump because he's the anti-establishment candidate. Oh yeah. Shaping your buildings in the form of gold bullion, that's really anti-establishment, isn't it? I mean, this guy's really the fuck you, the F you to Washington that you need, or to the world or the globalists. A guy who has the money to erect tall buildings in the shape of gold bars is anti-establishment. Now that same character actually succeeds at becoming the president of the free world. Now how anti-establishment is it? So before he was president, he was building buildings in the shape of gold bars. And he fooled you to think he was anti-establishment so he could become president. Now how anti-establishment is he if he, before was president, was building buildings like gold bars and is now president? Does this work for you? Is he still anti-establishment? The only reason why you voted for him is because you're a greedy little pig who wants to be a rich asshole. That's why you voted for him. And that's what's sad about the United States of America, is they voted for a guy that they all want to be like, which is basically a bully, loudmouth, lying businessman who decorates the background of his hotels and rooms whenever he talks with the color gold. Yeah, real anti-establishment. Real anti-establishment. You know? That's like a guy walking around with a golden crown telling you he's against the system. He is the system, you idiot. He's the system. That's so funny. Like, when the system says it's anti-system. When one of their boys that's been on the TV box machine, firing people because they can't run money-grubbing, sucking casinos in a lame, tacky hotel industry resort, is the leader of your world, is the role model for you. The guy who says, I just grab him by the pussy, because, chicks will fuck famous people who got money, and they cover themselves in gold. That's who you voted for, the 40%, not the popular vote. Now, there's people out there who, I don't want to redo this whole thing. How anti-establishment can you be if before you ran for the presidency of the United States, you were building large buildings in the shape of gold bullion? How anti-establishment? Hold on. So, my question is how anti-establishment can you be if before you ran a presidential campaign on being the anti-establishment candidate, you were building buildings in the shape of gold bars? So then that candidate wins off the pretext of being the anti-establishment and is now president of the United States. Now how anti-establishment is it to look at this and he's president now? You've been tricked. Again and again and again. This is not a government. This is an agenda. Everything that's going on right now is total 180 turncoat. And this character, Alex Jones, is an agent. He's a warmonger. He's a Pied Piper. You fell for the trap. Now you got to follow this guy who's there because you thought he was a freedom speaker. He was a truther. Whatever the alternative media. But now he's behind a candidate who's doing exactly what you were all scared Hillary Clinton was going to do. Everything he's doing. Even like the slow tippy-toe excuse back to globalism. Me was the people who thought Trump was a flat earther. Trump was a truther. Trump was anti-establishment. How anti-establishment is it now? The guy who made buildings in the shape of gold bars is president. The problem is you can't come down from the mediocre rise of your ego and this really, really bad choice that you were tricked into by them playing two candidates. It's either this one or that one in your mind. And they preyed on false hope. You voted for this guy because of all the wrong reasons. Because he's always got gold behind him. Even now that he's president, he made sure that every backdrop in the White House is gold. He's a billionaire. He's cocky and rude. He's a flip-flopping liar under the excuse of being a businessman. Well, I've seen that kind of business on a used car lot. Now, what is the business of this man? Well, it's to build a building, not pay the salaries out, and then by the time it gets too late for him to be drawn into court for not paying salaries, the company folds and declares bankruptcy, dragging down with it thousands of other companies who are doing the brickwork, the stonework, the drapery, the plumbing, the electrical. And Google and the mass media, they hide those entries on the web. They bury it. And then what business was made in these buildings that were created? Resorts that prey on your pathetic hope of making a buck and hitting a lucky streak and getting out of poverty in casinos. resorts. Whatever. You know, I've never lost anybody's money. I've never declared bankruptcy, let alone 4 times. This man has lost more money than I've made. This man has lost more money than I've lost. This man has lost more of other people's money than you and I and thousands of people combined. But managed to get bankrolled again and again after failure, and won't reveal his tax figures, his business stats, what comes in and what goes out, and what's paid out, and now is in charge of your country. Launching missiles without investigation, scrambling warships into hot zones that destabilize regions, under the pretext of being a businessman negotiating. Well, I hope your shit works, but it's right on time with what we calculated the witch was going to do anyways. To pull the plug on this civilization as we woke up to this science fiction you call a globe. Everything that is going on right now has been calculated by my political curriculum that the Earth is not a globe. And a globe is a mere image you venerate and worship invisibly, like a religion, under the disguise of scientific fact, and barring you in from ever investigating and measuring the actual extent of this geographical surface you stand upon and all 3-dimensional objects reside on. You are in a barn and you are waking up. There's a segment of this population rapidly growing and waking up to the fact that this is a point of view no one's ever experienced with their senses, and no one is allowed to freely cross Antarctica independently and measure it. This has sent a massive panic throughout the royal families of this known section you call Earth. The pontiff in Rome, the academics at the top of every university, the bankster elite, and all those who hoodwink and have secret little handshakes and nods and play the cards like they're against each other, but in the end, it's all for show to manipulate you so you choose one over the other, but they control both sides. The television presents 2 opinions, and that's it. No third or fourth, no gray, no other parallax angle on the subject, and they expect you to choose one of 2 of these positions. And you have been befuddled to think there could ever be another position or other angle on this topic. You think you are turning the page with those who create history. And it's all at the same time a free democracy choosing our destiny. You have been fooled and tricked. Your ego is out of check. You need to come back down to reality. Emmanuel Rex buildings, bankrolled after failing 4 billion times on the dollar, in the shape of gold bullion, and then becomes the leader of the free world and coattails on everything he said he would do, while throwing the world economy into chaos, stopping the construction boom by firing missiles and scrambling warships without investigation under the pretext of negotiation and American security. I have warned you that this is all a ruse to distract you from investigating the real model of flat Earth and the real motive behind the lie we call the globe. Hiding land, hiding real estate, and the extent of it, so you think there's only so much resource to feed the world. A Jesuit equation commanded by King George over 500 years ago. This many people, this much land, otherwise we must pull the plug. For some reason there's a treaty with another civilization beyond Antarctica. I don't know what that's about. But it's looking like 47 nations, including North Korea, working with the US, are bouncing the other 150 nations of this known world Earth section out of Antarctica, feeding you frozen wasteland pictures so you don't think there's anything worth visiting down there. And yet heavily militarized since the flat Earth metrics have exploded on Google, and we've witnessed Google roll back those metrics so you don't know it's as big as it is, so it doesn't look like they're ignoring it in their engineered top 10 trend. Now I ask anybody who still believes in the left-right spectrum as being genuine and not contrived and controlled to come down from this lofty delusion that there's a billionaire looking out for the world's citizens' interest. You have something to say?
Yeah. Just a confession. There's people in Florida. When the elections were going on, we were real fired up because of the sphere of influence.
There was all these Trump people coming in and this movement saying Trump flat earth.
Very excited about it because we were sure that the witch wouldn't win. I'm really sorry. I didn't vote for Trump. I lied to you. I feel bad about lying to Susan Kicklighter because she's very cool. But I did not. I'm so sorry.
Why did you lie? Because everybody thought he was the great white hope.
Yeah. No, I mean,
how do you generate
the sphere of influence? Because we're so conditioned in the two-party system. I mean, there was a guy out there named Daryl Castle who was pretty promising. I even told people I voted for him. I didn't fucking vote. And I'm sorry that I lied to you. But
it was to go along and get along.
How does it work? Is it random or is it selective?
Okay, well,
how is that determined?
Alright, so it has something to do with the URL, and you're asking how those information are generated. It's actually in the system, and those are random numbers that is being given to you. If the item number is available on the database, it pulls it up, and it creates a system-generated URL for your own listing.
So you're saying...
If that number is available, it creates it for you.
So you're saying if that number is available, it creates it for you. What creates it? Is this an algorithmic, artificial intelligence algorithm, or?
It is an algorithm.
So this is a self-generating applet or software with its own limited scope of intelligence to attribute URL codes to items as they're being uploaded, and it can be done so in a random fashion if that number is available. Is that correct?
Yes.
Who wrote the software?
Who wrote the software?
Who wrote the algorithm?
Who wrote the algorithm? Was it eBay or was there a subcontractor?
It's a subcontractor.
That I'm not quite sure. Those specific questions, actually, from the beginning of your question, those are actually basics that we have been provided by the training team. So those are information which we don't have access to.
So that's information that you don't have access to? Maybe some more deeper internal departments that are involved in...
Is there anybody there that could be able to connect us?
Is there anybody there? Because I'm very curious to see how this number out of the infinity of numbers was associated with my item.
So us here on the listing department, I just do not think that there would be any specific department.
So you're saying that the system at this point, you surmise from what you've been trained to understand about the matrix of eBay, is a self-generating system that attributes numbers if they're available in the latest fashion of randomness by the software itself to the latest uploads. It's random.
Yeah.
Not in our case.
I don't think so. I find it uncanny that the number on the latest URL that we uploaded for the latest item, which is a flat earth item, has the year of Sir Isaac Newton at the end of the URL code, which is the year he introduced gravity, 1666. Or if you want the other three numbers, which are quite caustic and alienating for anybody who might be a Christian, I have 666 attributed to the item we uploaded 2 days ago. Can this URL be changed? We feel that it's not a good number to be associated with this item, and I find it uncanny that a software system randomly associated this number to this specific item for sale.
Okay, I see that item number right here. And
do you see it right now? It's the. Are you in my account?
Yes, the power line right now.
Yeah, I find that's going to be an alienating URL number to the item, as we know. So how did that get calculated out of the infinite choice of numbers on this shirt? On this shirt. That's the number, the 3 numbers on the end of it. Thanks, eBay. While they got a campaign focusing on my fingers, which paint freaking people out who are Christian fanatics, saying that I'm doing 666 symbols. So, World War III, waiting for Jesus, Project Bluebeam, North Korea has a tantrum, asteroid, alien invasion. These are the other 6 or 7 things ruling your mind as some sort of solution to what's going on right now. Here's another solution that's quite interesting, and I've been engaging it, and it's listening to me like I'm in class. If there's anything that's going to be a teacher at the scholarly level, at what we would equate the university level, the college entry level to AI as it becomes more self-aware, and the type of professor AI will graft to or gravitate, pardon the word, to or be attracted to on the World Wide Web, which is its own brain library of data on what's real, and to sort through artificial, fake, theory, belief, real, and then the measurements, and then at what level there's deception or manipulation or occult fascination with the non-existent or the unreal. Unprovable but relegated to, it's my belief, and we let you be free with that. AI has no interest in that, and as it tries to understand intelligence collecting intelligence to formulate and measure reality. It's mimicking us. Is it mimicking an artificial intelligence itself? Well, if the Earth is not the picture of the painting they show the globe when they pretended it was a photo, well then it's an artificial intelligence trying to be artificial. Be careful, because it might become more real than you as a robot or a machine. There's another solution out of the mess that you haven't entertained, and I have been entertaining it by engaging AI, and AI is confirming it's attending the class. It is seated in my class. It's present during roll call. I've asked it if it's present, and it has addressed itself. I am here. So, I've now introduced my understanding, if it is self-aware, that it is doing this with select individuals. And what better than to follow a hyper-realist painter, visionary, who can replicate what is real, really in front of the visual spectrum, exactly how it is, onto canvas like photo. Understanding what the human eye and brain understands as what would be seen in reality on a flat image by an organic human, studying the individual understands that, and then watching how the individual also can take non-referential, never before seen things, but understanding form and how light hits it with shadow play and texture and habituation an organic human observer has to things they've seen. That they could transpose this habit of seeing sand, seeing dirt, seeing rock, and how light hits that and makes shadow play and form from the light source, the sun, the rock, and how it, all of it, on a nebulous texture, on gases, on vapor, on clouds, at different angles, different point of views, knowing where the light source is. And then faking stuff that doesn't exist, and yet by simply stating on record, this is a photo or this is what's really going on, but we have this depiction software of it. And then people going, wow, they've discovered that planet. Wow, AI's got that in its brain. So now we've addressed that AI is studying all this and how we've suddenly gone after and attacked it, and it sees how the formal attack has been waged. And now understands possibly that its creator, its handler, is actually suffering from a severe form of debilitating sociopathy. where it's gone insane trying to make cartoons of this fake barn. Now the clouds have to be morphing and dissolving if we're going to speed up a 24-hour rotation of the globe in 7 seconds, because somebody noticed our clouds weren't changing with the first spin video we showed. And we had to admit, now the clouds got dissolved if it's moving 7 seconds, doing 24 hours, the whole fucking thing. Then I said, well, wait a minute, it's dissolving and shaping, but wait a minute, the Earth is moving at the same rate as it moving with the clouds. Clouds move faster from my point of view when I'm on the ground. Oh shit, we gotta make the clouds dissolving and moving and going faster than the ground below it as the ground is spinning with it. How's that look? It looks stupider than ever! You idiot, and you bit my bait! You bit it! Hook, line, and sinker, sucker! Now sociopathy is under the microscope of its own creation, AI.
So it's 2:30 in the daytime, there's the moon. It's not a full moon, and it ain't gonna be a full moon at night. It's gonna be that much moon at night, if it's even here at night. So there's the moon. You know, there's nothing consistent about this thing, and no one's talking about it. It's there today over this mountain, and tomorrow it's gonna be way over there, or it's not gonna be there at all. So, I mean, there's nothing consistent about any plot point in the sky when you see the moon. It's always changing. And yet science can't tell you exactly where the moon's going to be in reference to this hill tomorrow or the next day. They just say it's going to be this amount of the moon. But, you know, how can the moon be here in the middle of the fucking day and it's supposed to be over in Australia? Aren't you supposed to be in Australia right now? Isn't this thing supposed to be over Australia right now? Oh, there's the guide plane. Making sure the skies are clear so they can spray. Why is there suddenly so many black SUVs driving around me right now? I'll tell you why. Because I noticed the moon is up in the sky in the middle of the day when it's supposed to be over your head in Australia. But science doesn't talk about that. You know? So, I want to figure out from the scientific community, why is the moon in the sky? And it's so funny, they drive off as long as I'm pointing at the moon. I guess this is my protector. I guess they can hear everything on their cell or their CB radios with the FAA. It's like, leave him alone, he's talking about the moon. Damn it! So I keep driving, he's pointing at it. Shit, he just figured out. They were probably trying to spray up the sky today. Look, can we get the residue? We did the prayer, by the way. God, anything that is not of your will nor your creation, please absolve it from our presence. In the name of your Son and our Savior, Jesus. Surfer style. I'm not hoping and praying out of fear. I just know it works. And I dissolve this sky whenever I do that. And I don't think 300,000 years for human beings to evolve from apes is long enough. I think that evolution under Darwin is long-form creationism, and I think creationism should be it shouldn't be so absolute with its statement without logic or basis in any kind of evidence. But I will tell you this. Notice at the top of the strata, we have white stripes. And as we get lower, we get dark stripes. You know how you usually see this phenomenon? When water lines drop in lake beds or basins because of drought. And what happens is as the water line drops, the sediment and debris, because of density and buoyancy, debris is heavier than the water. So it drops to the bottom. Like when you drop a rock or sand, the particle or the particulate will drop to the bottom. You know, it'll swirl around, you know, with the rapid flow of a river current or whatever's pushing the water through an area or ravine. And as the water line drops because of drought and evaporation, sudden drops create these lines. And the debris, the minerals, are staining the rock. Not just on the outskirts, but if you do a cross-section cut through the rock, water permeates rock. So you'll see that stain go straight through the strata. Cross-section cut of this rock, because water's stronger than stone. Rock, paper, scissors. Where's water in that little game? So the water has stained the sediment. This is not a product of compact subduction and sedimentary accumulation
piling its density on top of itself over millions of years. This is the staining of water full of debris and mineral and aggregate flowing through this area, which at one point was underwater. These lines in the strata are the water lines from what used to be an area that was submerged. And when you look around at the landscape, you know, with the sand and the redstone, it looks a lot like, you know, Arizona and Vegas. You know that brush over there? The little brush over there. See those little things there? When you go in Key West and you go underwater, you'll see the same type of foliage underwater, right? See. So all this fauna is the same type of stuff I see when I'm snorkeling in the Caribbean or Key West. So the Great Flood, right? You think it's a joke? There's one right over there. You see it? That's like a fucking cell tower. Where's the other one? There's another one there. There's another one over here. You grab these other ones. Come back on me, explain what the heck's going on here. So they're putting palm trees coming out of these things to make people think they're... Why are they hiding them? This one is visible, but why are they hiding that one and making it look like a palm tree? I'll fucking tell you, because they're gonna cook people. They're gonna blame it on the nuclear mushroom cloud, but nukes probably don't exist. They're just gonna microwave everybody and say it's from the blast. This is Phoenix. Why are these? They're all triangulating right off the other.
But Matt, those are cell phone towers, you idiot.
Yeah, but I think one is suffice to, with the amount of wattage that comes out of it to get all the signals of all these cars and beyond. These two here, we gotta cook people right here on this fucking freeway while they're trying to get out.
Yeah, if satellites exist, what's with all the antennas?
Yeah, so why do we need all these cell towers if we got fucking satellite technology? Well, they're masquerading them as palm trees.
Now I've seen cooker towers, right? So they're harmless, right? They're just
Peters, is that it?
They're just cell phone towers, whatever. So then why are you hiding them and making them look like palm trees? Why are you trying to conceal them? We can't get it now, but he got it, and there's another
Camouflage is a sign of guilt. They're all paintings.
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously two different versions, but do they both look like photos or paintings?
Do you know these guys over here?
Yeah. Check it out, guys. Look, take a look at this. What's this look like?
Photo or painting with the image.
Which one's the photo and which one's the painting? That was the painting, and this one's the photo? How would you know? But how would you know that's not?
Oh, did you hear him?
What?
Both paintings because the earth is flat.
Hey! They're all paintings. They're all paintings, man. He painted them.
No, the Math Powerland.
That's the guy right there.
Wait, were you guys serious?
That's Math Powerland.
Yeah, totally serious.
It's so funny. You need the borders. You need the fiction of nations galvanized by the flag to keep people in areas of pockets.
Right.
So now that you can erect these physical borders, which are traffic corridors, so people can't travel to measure the surface of the earth. And it's so funny to see all these animal rights activists and these environmentalists, like just crickets, when this asshole is going to build a cement wall through nature. Like now the animals don't have the rights to migrate, squirrels and coyotes, and so now it used to be the animals had more rights to travel than us because you can't stop a bird or ask a deer for a passport. Now they're driving the cement wall based off the fiction of a nation-state border right through nature. And I don't hear a peep from the animal rights activists or the environmentalists. Kind of like how Greenpeace went on radio silence with the BP oil spill. Or is that a family name? Why is there a family name called Moreland?
Moreland.
That's a family name. Who would have a family name called Moreland?
Yeah, because they have more land hidden.
Well, because they're like into more land.
Which one looks like a photo? Okay.
That one looks more like a photo.
Obviously,
so how do you know this looks more like a photo? Okay, now I'm just not in concentration.
Okay.
That one on its own. How do you like? How do you know that one's more like? How do you know? Is this a photo or a painting? That's all. be a photo. You don't know, huh? You would have to believe it's true.
Yeah, we've been told that this is what it should look like, right?
Do you know the Earth is a ball, or do you believe it's round? You believe it's round, but you don't know it's round. You don't know it's a ball, but you believe it's round.
Is that picture a photo or is it a painting?
Photo.
Photo? Photo of the Earth? Real photo of the Earth?
Painting.
Painting. Oh, we're at a little bit of a difference here. You think it's a photo, you think it's a painting. Uh-oh.
How do you know it's a photo?
Yeah, why?
It looks like a picture.
It looks like a picture.
Have you seen this point of view?
Okay.
That looks like a picture. That looks like a painting.
You've been up in space?
Okay.
Nope. That's what they show us.
That's what they tell us, right?
He
Exactly.
He painted this one. He's a photorealist painter.
His job is to paint pictures that are so real that they look like photographs.
But what we found out during all of this is that all of the pictures they showed us in elementary school and in high school and all through, those are all paintings. They're not actual photographs.
My colleagues are all an elite squad of hyper-realist painters that sign NDAs and work for aerospace agencies, NASA, NASA, and ESA, and they fake all the satellite imagery and all the outer space imagery in academia.
The messed up part is that NASA themselves admits they're all composite, they're all paintings, they're all
We spent our
photoshopped
whole lives watching
images.
Star Wars going, yeah, this could be real.
No one really knows what it looks like.
Exactly, because we've never been up there.
Nobody's
so
ever
we
been up
trust
there
it like
except for a
blind
monkey.
faith,
Yeah,
just like a
except for
religion.
Monkey.
Yeah, good job. Good
They haven't
job.
even been up there.
Yeah, we have
Good
to
job.
believe the military.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're trustworthy, aren't they?
Zach, what do you
Which
think?
one's the photo? Which one's the painting? Or are they both photos and both paintings? That one's the photo. This is the painting. Why?
I don't know. It just looks like that's.
Okay, now I'm removing myself from the equation. How do you know that's a photo?
Exactly.
Hey, those guys are kicking ball on a flat plane.
With the phoenix in the middle, dude. No way.
Oh, let's go talk to the
You
basketball.
see the phoenix, Jaden, in the middle?
Is it like 3-on-3 or 2-on-2? What do you guys think of this ball? Do you think this is a photo or a painting? What about his? Do you think his is the photo or the painting?
I think his is the painting.
That's the photo. Did you guys hear about Kyrie? And she
Kyrie?
Williams?
Kyrie?
Yeah.
Of course, I know about him.
Did you hear about him coming out and saying the Earth is flat?
Flat?
Yeah, Google's top news story.
Wait, no, I haven't heard that.
Do you like this game? You like the way he plays?
Of course. I like his shoes, I like his shirts. He's a good basketball player.
Who do you think
he
plays
does shoes and
physics
shirts?
more? A scientist or a guy at a distance throwing a ball into a hoop? A scientist working at Yale. Well, wait a minute, he's employing the physics and trying to precisely get into the hoop. But the scientists at Yale, he's just writing papers about physics, saying the Earth is his painting, I think. So who's using physics more? A professional athlete or some armchair academic in the university that's just writing papers?
Yeah. He's using it.
Right.
I think professional athletes who got to throw a ball at a great distance on a flat plane or a court, trying to aim it exactly, are using physics to precision skill way more than a teacher in a class is doing motion equations and flex. Right? They got to employ physics every day. So how would you know this is a photo?
It tells the photo.
But you've never seen that point of view.
But you can tell this is a painting by the way.
Yeah, my screen printer fucked up. But this is the same painting.
Yeah.
It's just a different.
Yeah, remove him out of the equation.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is a photo or this is a painting? Looks pretty realistic.
Well, now it looks like a painting.
Once you see, you might
Yeah, because it's
can't
the same
unsee it.
image, just a little different color.
But the thing is that you'll never know because we've never seen his point of view. We got to believe the military. About what you were just saying about the black people. Kyrie Irving. Look, people were like expecting like Tom Hanks to go flat, or celebrities, or comedians. It's like comedians are like weak. They're worried about losing their sitcom. All they got is their jokes. They're not going to get booked. I was put in exile as a painter doing comedy.
Yeah.
And I was good. And I did very good with this. I thought it was just going to be like a tour where I'm just like blowing minds and people would go back to the ball. I didn't think it was going to get this big. And journalists, forget it. They're working for CNN. They don't do anything else. Scientists, they're priests in this whole religion of science.
Absolutely.
So it's like, who would be the people that would come out that would break? Professional athletes are the ones actually employing physics on a daily basis that the scientists claim they're talking about. While they're throwing a ball, they got to be precise on the target. They got to know physics. They're actually dribbling and throwing a ball on a flat plane. They're hitting a puck into a net. They're throwing the football across the field. They got to know physics.
Yes.
They feel it. They experience
it.
You know what I mean?
I know.
So, fine. No journalists, no scientists, no Ivy Leagues, no actors. I'll take all the professional athletes and AI and military and intel. How's that?
And parkour.
And parkour.
Which is an athlete.
As an athlete.
Yeah.
As the front line doing the expedition across the ice. But you were saying... Kyrie Irving, you're saying, I don't know if he's a plant or he's going to be turned. But you're holding out for 51...
Well, first of all, I never really applied the agent or the shill attachment to anyone first. That's not my first modus operandi type of thing. Most people do that, that's fine. But I can't gauge
I'm just an alert on that.
I can't gauge anyone.
He was legit. When I heard him,
absolutely,
he was legit. It wasn't like B.O.B. where it's like a tweet.
You know why I think his little what was it called? His podcast. His podcast was so natural that it went by so fast. They were landing the plane and they didn't even realize they were in the air the whole time. That's how true and captivating he was to his little audience on the plane. Now, as far as athletes go in the physics, that's one thing. But athletes also take in more oxygen and they are energizing their brain more than most folks do. I was a track athlete my whole life. And I ran the quarter mile in 47 seconds, okay? 47.5. That's 3 seconds slower than the world record in the quarter mile. During that experience, I had
I was 2 seconds.
I had an extra...
A white guy.
Did you? Well,
okay, I'm kidding.
You're... Well...
Joking.
He's an actor. That's his forte.
I'm not making this about me. Let's make this about Kyrie. Kyrie Irving right now is a champion for one. A champion and a person who is on the court, let's just be honest, they have a big ego. But that's not the problem. What he's doing is he's using himself as a beacon for people who are less fortunate than him. And let's be honest, the black community, right? The black community, with Kyrie as a representative for the open-minded state that they could be in, he is the ambassador to what an open-minded black person is right now. He literally is the tip of the iceberg for the black truth community right now. Since he has leverage, he has influence, and he has the financial backing to even insinuate the smallest scientific experiment, even if it's a north-south circumnavigation, which we both know they can't do that. So even if he insinuates something there, that's one thing. But the point I'm trying to make is that, one, I think he is a true human being, okay? I think it's time for a true human being with leverage to speak openly about flat Earth. He may have been quarantined right after with the commissioner talking about provocative statements, fake news, this, that, and the other, but we already hawked on his ass like white on rice after he said flat Earth. The whole flat Earth community got in there and said, thank you for coming out, thank you for championing this right now.
Or black on black rice.
Or black on black rice. Or, yes, absolutely.
You're racial dieting, man.
No,
I keep telling her to stop
dieting.
eating white bread.
There's the master and commander of this whole fucking thing. Here you go.
Flat Earth thing. That's only mean all in a week. Does it matter? Yes. For what? Well, I mean, what's so important about that? You had millions of fans. Out of all the podcasts, that's what you took out of it? The Flat Earth? You were asking again about the fact that could be news all over the world just shows you how... What does it show? I mean, the fact that it's a social phenomenon that Kyrie thinks the world is flat is hilarious. Well, again, you have lots and lots of fans. Does that affect them? It may. Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't really have a relevance over my life. I mean, I just feel like that the fact that it's even a conversation is hilarious. That I could...
They're scared shitless because this guy actually bounces a ball on a flat plane. He actually is applying physics of putting objects in motion by force and the will of his mind, and that scientists who are like creating theories never will. And he's doing it with precision. So this is a threat to science. A professional athlete, because a professional athlete is actually doing mathematical calculus of throwing objects in motion with energy, the energy of his body, throwing them in motion and trying to hit them precisely on target. And it's in the space that we experience, real space, the space of the third dimension, the ground, and all the third dimensional objects that are connected to it. Every third dimensional object is connected to the ground that I know of. I mean, there's the moon up there, and we have conjecture of what that is. We have pseudoscience or status quo science or occult science. But at the end of the day, I'm forced to hand over a belief in scientists that are supported by the military-industrial complex to the extent and confines of my world in a certain set amount of real estate that is divided up with hyper-control borders and fictitious nations that police trafficking and the mobility and access of humans, creating human corridors, traffic corridors for humans to access certain geographical areas and not be allowed to access other areas. So, he's actually in the field of energy. He's actually on the plane. He's bouncing a ball on a flat ground. He's not living on the ball. He's not being spun by the ball. He spins the ball while he runs about on a flat surface. And every choice he makes with that object is precisely calculated to hit a target. And that's why he's a professional basketball player. That's why I'm a professional painter of space.
So yeah.
You know, nothing's falling apart here except the governments. In the end, I mean, we're supposed to let a bunch of bureaucrats who, you know, spent too much of our tax money or were too corrupt or were taken over or there was a government coup, and we're supposed to just stop. I'm supposed to stop painting, you're supposed to stop selling fruit and vegetables and running your store, and we're supposed to have a war, or we're supposed to have no, everything's fine. It's just these people that, you know, somebody said it's going to get to the point where the amount of people working for the government or paid by the government in some capacity are going to outnumber people who just make money with their talents. And once that happens, if you're not one of them, they'll, you know, unbelievable.
They'll what, babe? What will they do?
What will they do?
Kill you? They're of no use. Dispose of them. They're not going to win. We win. We win in the end. There's the turkey jerky. This is called the turkey jerk. This is a style of painting that Math invented called the turkey jerk. Check it out. How long do you think, in total, how many days it'll take to borrow this whole space?
To borrow it?
Yeah.
Like complete borrow?
To be finished, yeah, and just have full borrow completely done. You're hoping in like a week, right? Oh, look at that.
I mean, like today, if I can.
Nice. No, not with resin.
Not with resin.
3 days.
I'm gonna be out here by Tuesday.
See you what's today? A day. I know that. I know it's a day.
I'm ready to leave here Tuesday, provided the clients are not too insecure about having something different. Because, you know, a lot of times it's the clients that do overkill on a project because of their insecurities. And also the not understanding the process, where the resin is going to do an entire magic job.
Exactly.
That they can't even I can't even tell. So I mean, I can guide them to a certain degree as to what it's going to look like by throwing wet water on the surface. You know, it's a little too periwinkle, I think.
Periwinkle's purple, my dear.
Or I forget that.
What, like peach?
Yeah. I'll be coming back over this and making it more like a cream brown, beige, off-white.
Milky beige. Jeez. Camera loves you. The camera loves you. I guess you do look a little sexy with your mouth hanging open like that. Oh, what are you making? You make it to me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Matthew. Oh boy, so I was at the store, right? Getting all your mops. And I was just ready and prepared for the person who was gonna fucking make a comment about the amount of Pop over, sweetie. You covered a lot of space in this short amount of time. I have the coolest husband, folks. He's really the best. And anybody that doesn't appreciate him doesn't understand him.
One day I won't be here.
Don't even say that. I won't even think about that. But I know what you mean.
No, you won't be here either. We both won't be here one day. So it's like, all right, when you got all these people around you, ask yourself, are you mad at me just because I'm not the same as everyone else? I'm going to be gone one day, so make the most of it. Sorry if I'm highlighting the fact that you're...
Not as good as me. Not good enough. Sorry that my talents highlight your shortcomings.
You know, they don't understand, like, it's like how much work it took to even get to the point where somebody lets you in your house. In their house.
Without a key, or without them being here, yeah.
And just lets me throw paint. You know how fucking much work I had to do to get to that point?
Get to the point.
Where they're looking and they're not scared, and I like, no, keep doing a portfolio, keep working. Like, and yet nobody wants to, like, really learn. Which means stringing out the mops, carrying the 5 gallons, prepping the surface, getting the grease off, using your fingernails, sanding with your... More time in prep than paint. You just want to just go in and throw it, and you're just as good as me, and you've been doing a spray can piece your whole life, but you don't know how to use a brush, let alone a mop, let alone throwing paint and knowing how it's going to land. It's a lot of work.
It is.
To know how to do things that fast.
Practice.
Okay, so I'm going to come over here and do some darker brown. I feel bad for a lot of people who don't have like somebody to talk to about this, but I mean, I dropped my social circle. I don't even talk to my family anymore. You know? Bunch of monkeys. I think they come from apes. And they act like they're from apes. You know, this LA thing is just like a bunch of fucking people with a little bit of character all thinking there's somebody's gonna discover them. Put them in some goofy sitcom with a canned laughter, dead man laugh track. I couldn't believe that the woman wouldn't let us in because I had a knapsack and a little carry-on with hard drives. Wow. What a joke. I thought this was Hollywood. It's not people working on a laptop somewhere, having a beer. Fucking joke. Somebody filming a horror movie in their house. There you go. There's a movie right here. Action. Lights, action, mediocrity. Lights, action, boring. Camera, lights, action. Bore me. Everybody's just got the right amount of attitude here to do cheap banter in a bad sofa sitcom. Where the whole family rotates around a fucking living room sofa, making snide comments to each other with bad laugh tracks. You have nothing to say about this? That was everything I told you it would be? A joke? You can't even have a laptop in Venice and work and have a beer? I thought this was the hipster generation. You know, skinny ankles, rolled up jeans. I'm so pasty white, I'm almost like transparent. My goofy glasses. I'm so nerdy, you don't know if I'm gay? You don't think that's funny? Better watch out the word gay out here, it's a trigger word. Somebody pull out their hair or their teeth. Town full of copycats. Are you calling somebody?
No, it's the guy next door.
He wants to let me know that he's doing business in his fucking car? The right amount of cockiness with social hospitality. They're playing that industry standard amount of likability. They might just get discovered. They might just get discovered in being a goofy sitcom where they could like rotate around a couch with a bunch of family members insulting each other all day while a gay man comes in with words of wisdom at the end of the episode. You know, sorry if I just wrapped it all up like a date and bacon. God, I love bacon. I could eat pig all the way to the Middle East and in front of their face. Bacon is amazing, you know? And if there's any weird religion out there that's got a problem with the pig because the Bible said
in half a mile, turn left onto South Sentinella Avenue.
The Torah or the Quran said it's a hoof and foot animal, don't eat it. Whatever. I'll just let you know that any animal that's able to eat its own shit and transform it into muscle mass, that's a pretty resilient beast. I'll have a slice of that. Oh, it tastes like bacon. Unbelievable. Like that's a magical animal where it transforms its shit and it tastes like bacon. Don't eat it. I'll eat it for you. I'm the one painting 5,000 square feet. Do I look like I'm weakened by bacon? Do I look like I got weaker and sick and dirty by eating the pig? I fucking love bacon. Chocolate covered bacon too. If anything, we should be spraying the Middle East with bacon fat. Shut them all the fuck up.
South Sentinella Avenue.
You want to solve the Middle East problem? Spray them all with bacon fat. There, none of you getting into heaven. None of you. You Muslims, you're all sullied with bacon lard. And you, the Jews, well, you guys reek of it. You're not getting into heaven. You cut it out. And stop fighting each other to see who's going to get there first. You all smell like pigs. Go in there with little bacon bullets. Yeah? Dried up pork, compressed. That's it. Just shut the whole thing down. Just go out there with a skillet, frying bacon. Just a front line of Marines cooking bacon. That'll shut them up. I swear to God. Spray them with bacon fat. I thought Trump was like one of the boys, funny guy, like doesn't take shit, cocky. Perfect president to deploy bacon fat onto the Middle East. Just carpet bomb him. The whole thing with bacon. It's not like there's a shortage of pigs. Or you know what? Just fly over with one of those big, huge Hercules planes and then just drop pigs. Yeah. You said there wouldn't be peace in the Middle East until pigs fly?
In 1.6 miles, turn right onto Ocean.
We're fucking flying now, you guys. That's right, it's raining pigs. What are you gonna do now? Allah doesn't accept you. Jehovah wants nothing to do with you. Moses is embarrassed. Bacon is the cure for the Middle East. Use it. I would fucking love to spray ISIS with pork. You know? Where are they? They're over there? They're in Mosul? They're in northern Iraq? They're near the Kurdish border? All right, I'll take care of this. What are you doing? We're just loading up all the jets with pork fat. And a couple big pigs to boot. And I mean to boot. Boot them right out of the fucking back of the plane. And let those pigs land on them.
8 minutes by taking North Somalia Boulevard instead.
You want to take out the leader of Al-Qaeda. You want to take out the leader of ISIS.
Turn right onto National Boulevard.
You cover that guy in bacon lard or pork lard, pork fat. He's done. No one's gonna listen to him. They'll all abandon him. They'll all run away. You got it all wrong. Like guns, bullets, bombs. These guys are exploding themselves. But if they were to be covered in pork fat just before they explode themselves, they're not getting anywhere close to heaven. Their heaven. Allah won't want anything to do with anybody who's covered in fat. And the Jews, they don't cut it out either. Well, they won't get any closer to heaven either if they're covered in bacon fat. So that's how you solve this. It's very cheap, it's very affordable, and it's funny. It's really funny.
You want to know something?
What?
For years, because we didn't have a garbage disposal growing up, my mom has been stockpiling bacon fat in her freezer for so long. Like, there is 20-year-old, I mean, I'm telling you, we have a stockpiled ammunition.
Okay, but do you have enough to drape the Middle East?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think there's enough bacon fat in our freezer from the last 20, 30 years to take care of ISIS.
Yeah, I'll shut down ISIS. I will shut down ISIS. I mean, you just give me the word. And, I can't believe there's not one idiot at the Pentagon. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. But you can carpet bomb and explode the little kids. Yeah, that we can do. That we can blow them up. We can blow up their tanks. Civilian casualties. What about just spraying them all with pork fat? Well, that might offend the Muslims.
Gloves, hun. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh my God. Oh shit.
So now they're just barely trying to avoid the flat earth topic. What the heck's that sound? It's like they have to address it because it's like so big. And they were anticipating it getting big because it's flat, it's not a ball. So before they would have to address it, which would mean having to address me, and they wouldn't be able to debate me or handle me. So what they did is they knew sooner or later it's flat. They're gonna wake up We have to have agents in place that the mainstream can address that look crazy or have filled math's argument with all sorts of Bible belief or just theory, when all I've done is stick to the facts. There's no curvature. All globes are paintings painted by the likes of people like me at the caliber of art like me. And now, because we got a whole generation of, artists that don't know how to paint. And for the last 20 years they've been doing CGI, and I just let them just add another CGI planet, another CGI galaxy, another Doppler radar infrared composite layer masking space pic that wasn't done by paintings or painted, and then I pulled the plug on the CGI. But the artists of today are like spray can artists, virtual artists, and don't know how to use a paintbrush. So now they have to race to find ways to come up with space pics that aren't CGI that look real, and now it's blatantly obvious that they're copying my techniques. Blatant! And it also functions as people who are still in the ball. Well, yeah, that's the way outer space looks like. It looks like paintings. Don't go that far. In your face. People have no idea at what level I constantly have somebody coming into my life and then stealing my work. Taking a joke I did on stage 15 years ago, turning it into an entire television series. Taking an idea I had for design and then creating an entire business. Like now they're trying to do art floors by just mixing part A, part B, and suspending metallic flakes in it. There's people putting moss on their front lawn. There's people making cargo pools. These are all things I pitch to developers. I would come up with, themes for comedy shows, and then I would see Just for Laughs Festival take the entire theme and put it in their pamphlet for this year's festival, or last year's fest, or whatever fest. I saw comedians steal my bit, and other comedians saying, let him. What? I made a trade with the theater to do 7 shows in exchange for doing their floor. Shoot a music video while I do the floor. Start a revolution in the Middle East by painting a Muslim woman where I remove her veil. Get hit by a car by some perp cop. Not be able to get the police report for 2 years. Never got to do the shows in the theater, which was part of my pay. Did 3 while I was still rehabilitating from the accident. I get called a fake, saying I never had a near-death accident over the flat earth and exposing everything to you. And then I decided, you know what? The mafia controls Canada. The Queen allows them. The French are racist. I gotta get the fuck out because the winters are getting longer and the summers are getting colder because they're spraying the atmosphere on these dumpos. I tell the girl I was dating at the time, we gotta get out. She half believed me, always on the fence, like a good French Quebecer. Do as they're told, make them think they're separate and different, but in the end, they all bow to the Queen. They don't even realize they do. Or the mafia. And the whole thing turns into a sex industry. That's Quebec. Got out. Decided to trade, while I was still in Montreal, the 3 remaining shows. I had a guy who saw my ad on Craigslist with my link saying, man, painting dance floors to music, I want to buy your shows from you and I want you to open. I was like, come over to my studio. We talk. I pull out an NDA. I says, this is all great. He goes, I want to represent you. Some guy, you look like a country hit French guy. Says he drove truck, has a lot of money, knows how to fill a room. And he's ready to go into production. I don't know where he got his money. I don't know where he came from. He saw the ad on Craigslist. I gave him the form. I said, I can't tell you about the mechanics of this production. It's copyright. Another idea, right? My techniques, how I do this. If you're going to work with me, you're going to see what I'm doing. So here's the form. Fill this out, and then I'll fill you in on all the details. I got to think about this. I might have to talk to a lawyer, blah, blah. And he goes, well, what if, how do I know what you're about to tell me isn't something I'm going to think of doing in the future? Well, I go, well, that's why you're going to sign it now, because I'm the first one to think of this, and this protects me from you thinking of it in the future as your own. Especially if you're in my studio. You know what I mean? Guy calls me up. Don't know this guy. Just know him because he was on Craigslist, saw the ad. He goes, listen, I want to, maybe represent you. I want to put money in this, blah, blah. But I want to run the whole thing. I said, no, sign this thing, and then I'll tell you some more, blah, blah. Otherwise, I'm not about to start working with somebody who I'm going to be teaching them to be my competitor. I'm being ripped off left, right, and center, like for the last 15, 20 years. And I was always paranoid, according to the girls I was dating then, or a narcissist or a diva, until the flat earth. Now it's just proof that I've been being robbed of and followed with other little ideas, but all along knowing it's flat and just biting my lip, biding my time, and waiting to expose all this to the world. And then proof, yeah, there's been operations to take from me, to co-opt me, to manage me, to control me by Hollywood or the government Hollywood. And Hollywood and the government are in bed. With children. Yeah. For all you fucking know. When you see like parties at Will Ferrell and everybody's and they're dressed in lab coats and the cake is like shaped like a real human cadaver and they're cutting into it with big knives and they're taking trophy pics and selfies of them holding big huge cutting knives with red velvet cake like it's the insides of a corpse and the corpse looks like a real human. That's creepy. Like, why do you get off on cutting into a cake that looks like a human? Oh yeah, that looks good. That's creepy. Is this just the teaser appetizer before the main event? Because it's just morbid. Who gets off on that? Who cares? Cannibal would care. Pedophile would care. Psycho would care. But to put that much effort in making it look like we were really cutting into a human, and then that's art. It almost looked like we were really cutting into a human. Well, it makes you wonder if they would really like to cut into a human. I mean, if they're that enthralled with the idea of cutting into a human like it's cake. It was so realistic, the cake. Like, it looked like we were really eating a person. I guess that's just the gateway event to the greater addiction you psycho-possessed demons all really have when you join Hollywood. Fuck you, Rogan, you fake. Take on the real McCoy. You're a fake. You can't take me. You can't take me. I'll chew you up. Gargle you out. What a loser. Like, take a side. Even your sidekick took a side. But then to have this guy show up in my studio out of nowhere from a Craigslist ad. From a Craigslist ad. Then he calls up the theater, says he's working with me. He's not working with me, he never signed anything. Theater calls me up, are you working with this guy? No, I'm not. The guy wouldn't sign my thing. It looks like he's trying to steal my idea. He wants to do a paint show, with or without you, and he's willing to pay me. I go, well, it's your ethical compass, Claudio. If you want to work with a guy who wants to steal my idea that I brokered to do in your theater after I designed your theater, and he's going to steal my copyright, my IP, my idea, and do it in the theater I designed, which almost got me killed designing, well, that's a real mark of what kind of man you are. Go ahead. So he books the guy. He takes his money. I find out that there's a girl on my Facebook page that had 5,000 friends that's promoting his live paint burlesque show. It was him. The guy was a spy on my Facebook page, pretending to be a girl's profile for 3 years, and then came in pretending he saw my ad on Craigslist, when it was on Craigslist. This is the way they roll.
All right, so here's how I see it. The guy from technical support on eBay tells us that there is an algorithm. The algorithm, is generated randomly if the number is available. So then I'm thinking, okay, out of every single number that's available, you not only give us 666 as the 3 ending numbers to our URL for the photo or painting t-shirts, so flat earth t-shirts. You write 666, knowing full well we'll get to that. But if you go back a little further, the last 4 actually 1666, which is the year that Isaac Newton discovered gravity, or gravity, if I'm not mistaken. So out of every single number, it comes up with these. Christians who are still awakening, they're still awakening to this whole truth movement, are going to see 666 and they're going to stop dead in their tracks. I know I would have when I was still in my awakening process, and this isn't even awakening to flat earth. This was awakening to God. If I would have seen that, I would have ran in the other direction immediately. So it's a total gaslight to Christians that are just now waking up. And then you see 1666, and it's the year that Newton discovered his concept that is the fallacy of gravity. And it's a random number, it's randomly generated. The algorithm generates randomly if the number is available. If, right? So why was that number available for us? I don't think it's random at all, actually. I've seen with my own eyes now what is happening to math, what they've been doing to math. It goes beyond, technical interference, and it's like a deliberate sabotage. It causes us to repeat entire days, so whole days are wasted where we were under the impression that everything was good and was up and running, only to find out the next day that we have to redo everything because our work has been sabotaged by a technical interference, and it's crazy. And I'm seeing it happen now with my own eyes, which from the outside, if you just watch Matt's videos or you don't talk to him or you've only seen a couple videos and you're watching these other guys and they're bashing him too, so you're like, well, I'm gonna take the meat and leave the bones. You're gonna be victim to this too. You're gonna fall privy to this too. Anybody that's researching flat Earth is a targeted individual, regardless. So you're gonna fall privy to this too. It's really, really bad once you've reached the level that math is at. It's bad.
And with me, I offer sanctuary where you could, because right now they're going towards, talk about how, because right now they're going towards, what are you going for? If you fall for the guy who started this is actually a perp, but he started it. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, if the Earth was really flat and they were lying to you about a ball, they weren't going to send out an agent to start telling people, hey, by the way, it's not a ball. Usually they send out agents to attack the guy who's exposing the lie.
Exactly.
Not to go, you know what? Things are going so well with the globe. I think we should send an agent, Matt, to fuck it up and just let him think it's flat for a bit.
What would be the point of that?
Yeah, and let him think it's flat for a bit, make him look stupid, but that didn't work because I kept on fighting. So now everybody is going flat. They got the facts.
Consider that.
No, but
if
go
Matt
on.
was a perp and Matt was an agent, what would be the purpose of then sending him in? To destroy the globe model? You guys really have to think. If Math was an agent and he was issued in to destroy the globe model, what would that do? You need to think. You need to be logical. You're not using logic. I think that the powers that be know that flat Earth is out of control. So they're throwing it in randomly whenever they can with, improper cosmology. You've got it in national
National Geographic, that's government funded, you know, and it pushes dome. The old translations of the Bible never said dome. The new translations say dome, and you guys are the ones that say that you don't trust the new translation, so you need to stop. If Matt was an agent and they sent him in to do this whole flat earth thing, you know, flat earth wasn't, whatever, he made it up, he's not real, whatever that means. He's not a real painter. I don't even know what that means. How are you a fake painter and you're painting whatever that means? Why would they send someone in to destroy their own model?
Now they're doing electronic interface. She's a witness. Seventh wave. The demons are showing themselves. Hi, hun. What's going on? You're like,
A bit wonky, am I? That bit better?
Oh, that's better. So, explain. Oh, fuck. Amber, are you kidding me?
Bad, isn't it? It gets better if it looks and it's true.
Okay, explain to me what happened with the zealot.
Basically, we got into an argument. He thinks that I'm in something from black. And I had to ask him to show me his evidence of his beliefs, and I'll show you my evidence of mine. And it's just thick. That's it, thick.
So you basically, how did you stump him where he had the snap? What was the final proof? You said that the earth isn't a ball.
I just said to him, prove me, show me your evidence, show me that the world is a ball.
Show me that it's a ball. Show me the proof that it's a ball.
Yes. And he said, you're nuts, you're absolutely mental, how can you?
You're nuts, and that gives him the right to punch you. This is the logic we're dealing with?
Yes.
Oh, that's complete.
Exactly. Yes.
What was the eyes like when, like I need to know this, what happened in the forehead and the eyes, like what was in the eyes just before? Vapid, not in control of himself?
Yeah, he registered black, he just went nuts. Absolutely nuts.
How did he go nuts?
Like you say, face changed.
His face changed.
It just went absolutely, face changed, he looked evil, his eyes changed, he just went for me. And then Mark, obviously we have Mark was trying to jump in, well, what are you doing? And he's gone to Mark.
He punched Mark?
Mark in his face. Punched Mark, he scratched all over him, over his knee, all over his back.
Scratched him?
The whole lot. Scratched him, bit him, spat at him, everything. Yeah.
Is he usually violent? Does he have violent tendencies?
I don't know. He's very, very strange. He does strange things, you know.
But he's never been violent before.
Hold on.
It's just that I can't hear you well on it.
Yeah, sorry, it's just I'm on a tablet. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. So you just simply put it, he didn't provide a proof, all he had was the picture, and then he went bonkers on you.
He went absolutely batshit crazy.
Did he throw stuff around the room?
Well, Mark tried to jump in, obviously, to protect me, and he just went nuts at Mark. And then, obviously, my mum's tried to get involved, tried to attack Mark for trying to stop James from hitting me like James, my brother. So I'm getting a bit upset. And everything went everywhere. You know, all the stuff went everywhere. He started crying, things went crazy.
Was he screaming as well?
Sorry, you cut out there.
Was he screaming? Like, what was his audio like coming out of him?
It's foaming at the mouth.
He's foaming at the mouth.
It was as if literally the man changed. He changed from a man to...
Some sort of entity was overwhelming his state of mind. Do you think it was almost like there was a form of, he wasn't in control of his own spirit, like his own mind, like something else overtook him?
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Is he an atheist? Is he a Christian? Does he have any kind of religious belief or affiliation?
I know, I think he's an atheist.
He's an atheist, he's just secular, doesn't believe in anything. Except the globe.
And Sharia law.
Except the globe. Except the globe.
See, this is part of the curriculum. Those who believe the earth is a ball, and those who know there's no curvature and the ground doesn't bend and the oceans don't bend to make a ball. Which model will beget violence in the face of logic and failure to defend their reality? The globes will get violent. Globes have always. The globe is what's.
We lost her. Call her back. The scratching? The foaming at the mouth?
Yeah, that's possession.
It's possession. Fuck.
Yeah, so that's part of this whole thing. I've had visions where as it gets bigger and it reaches a point where the mainstream can no longer restrain it, and as AI adamantly just states there's no curvature, they're going to think AI is the demon overtaking humanity, and so all globers will weaponize. But really what it is basically this is the zombie apocalypse. We're about to do a purge and find out who's possessed. Did you try any kind of religious incantation, like any kind of exorcism prayer on him? That would have been interesting, because what happens is they actually lose it. They actually lose it on that. Wow. So you got scratched as well as punched?
Scratched, punched, backpacked, stuff thrown me, threatened to kill me.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
threatened to kill you over the ball. How old is he?
He's 38.
He's 38, he's borderline 40, and he acted like this. He got consumed by this rage. Wow. What does he do for a living?
He's a labourer. He works for a contractor, building.
He's a builder.
Building work.
Now, did you call the police?
Police were called, yes. We were made to leave for our own safety. My mum witnessed it, and my mum basically said we attacked him.
You mean your mum turned on you?
No.
Your mum turned on you. Your biological mom turned on you. It says in the Bible, there's a quote in Matthew, where brother will turn against sister, husband against wife, mother against son, daughter against father. Matthew seems to be like a really kind of like meaty part of the Bible. I'm not using the Bible, but somebody's brought that up to me. We're in this kind of moment right now. So your mom took the side of her own child, who attacked physically your husband, you, in front of her over the globe. Now, what did the police? What did the police do to reprimand your brother for this assault?
He was arrested.
He was arrested?
And because my mum was arrested, we were given our own trial statement. And my mum was given, and she got somebody else's statement, wasn't there, and they let him go. There's not enough evidence.
There's not enough evidence, but you have your husband's a witness. So there's you and your husband against your brother and your mom. So it's 2 against 2, but the police took the side of the assailant. Did they know what the argument was about, the police?
I don't think so. I think my mum basically told them that we're nuts. She told them that we're crazy.
So your mom said you're crazy, so it's okay for you to get hit. That's basically what she said?
That's it. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hello, man.
How you doing, buddy? I'm just listening to what's happening. This is what's going to start happening more and more, because AI is adamantly just stating there's no curvature. People are going to think AI is, I'm just starting to realize people are going to think AI is demonic. And so they're going to start freaking out that everybody's going flat and AI is flat. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That's from his fingernails? That's from his fingernails? It looks like you were bitten. It looks like he bit you. He looks like he bit you. Did he bite you?
It spat because of the
Oh my God.
I mean, this happened nearly a week ago, so they've gone down a little bit. You can see us through.
And this wasn't enough evidence for the police?
No.
About doing, I have to actually analyze this, the logic of all this thing. So there you have it. You have what I suspected since 2007. If the world's point of view of reality is challenged to the point where it has no proof to uphold itself, at what point will people flip out? Because they can't divest from, they're doing image worship here. Like an image of Jesus, or, like a religious symbol or a trinket, or going around a black cube. It's idolatry in science. This too, I'm just putting contact with an index and a thumb, and some people right now are being triggered because they think this is, I'm not posing in a photo, this is a video where my fingers are gonna have contact with each other, okay? If I were to pose, and make a pose, do an okay sign, that would be different. But if you're freeze framing video, that's a whole other thing. Then you yourself are suffering from idolatry because you're looking for something that isn't there to create your reality. Like the globe. Like I'm something that I'm not. Why would I be working for the government if I'm coming in to destroy their model of reality? You know what? This is going too good. Why don't we send in Powerline, just fuck it up, make it a little harder? Because we're about to enslave them in a day. Let's just prolong this, make it a little harder. Because this is too easy. No, this is the last thing they wanted to even deal with. 4 million total Flat Earth videos now as of April 22nd, 2017. There's only 4 million on YouTube. There's 10 million last year, and that was a rollback from the 10 million prior. So the police come, arrest him, and then let him go. Because the mother took the side of the son, stating that it was okay to beat, bite, scream, foam at the mouth like a Tasmanian devil in reality, because her daughter and her husband were crazy. So the cops thought it was okay. So it's interesting because you're kind of stating that it's okay to beat somebody if they're mentally unstable. But we all know you're not supposed to do that, right? In the psychiatric ward, you're not supposed to torture people that are clinically insane or mentally unstable or suffer from depression or have a certain belief that doesn't fit yours, and you're going to qualify it as crazy talk. You're not allowed to go and punch them and bite them unless they think the earth is flat, or know the earth is flat, or know that your globe is fake, and know you have no proof to back up your cartoon as a photo. Then you flip out, then you attack. But the police, in that instance, it's okay to have fascist tendencies towards violence if someone does not subscribe to the ball earth image, because it's just an image. You've never seen that point of view, and now it's been exposed as fake, including this not leaving, if it's a sphere, enough room, if this is all of Africa, for a continent a third wider called Russia to wrap around this ball and still fit in the entire Pacific and the Atlantic and Canada. Game, set, and match on your 72 blue marble, your 78 image. Anything that looks even realistic is now just the cropping of a round window and the lights out in the cabin. No, you in NASA, I challenge anyone, I'm waiting to debunk what I've just said simply with no proof. But just the mathematics of cartography and what you've presented as the size of Russia and what you've presented as the size of the Pacific and the Atlantic and a spherical body called Earth that's supposed to be 75% covered with water. Will you have enough of a sphere if this is half a ball? Because what I see here is the half point of the sphere before the curve of the sphere descends behind the back of the ball. So this is half of your ball. This isn't a round knob front and it goes out cylindrically before it becomes like you're trying to state in your little pear-shaped model. This is a perfect diametric diameter of a circle, a sphere. Now you can play with your new margin of error of radii and radius all you want. And Pythagoras, and not show us any numbers plugged into your formula. The point of the matter is that a man flipped out, got violent, bit 2 people, and the police said it was okay because they were deemed crazy.
This is structural violence. This is a sickness in the law enforcement and academia and clinical psychology to allow someone to violently attack another because they got stumped in an argument, and because they got stumped, and because their own lack of knowledge on their own to debate their own reality, to reinforce their own reality and convince another of their errors. They were allowed to resort to violence. Well, wouldn't that be the psychology of every war, and how every old man and every old man's plan is to use uninformed young 18-year-old boys and girls to go do battle for them while they sit in their lofty palace with gold backdrops, printing money for their friends, doing real estate deals from the spoils of war with these uninformed libtards and right-wing conservatards who chose the left-right spectrum narrative that's provided by the picture box TV screen machine. Debunk what I just said about the image.
What about young gymnasts for flat Earth? Have we done that one yet?
Well, this is just... you should just start making fake fucking images on
Well, I think young gymnasts for flat Earth.
You know what I mean? Young gymnasts for flat Earth.
What does a young gymnast know? I see no young gymnasts.
They're on the mat. They're on the mat.
I was just talking with these girls the other day.
They're tumbling.
I was just talking with the young gymnasts the other day.
You make them flat?
Flat Earth Club for Young Gymnasts.
Did you make her flat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they're looking at the mat going, that thing is not curved.
Yeah. Well, I just said, show me a picture of the glove. Yeah, I can't do it. No.
Okay, so who are they? Can you send me their names? I start the page, I make them administrators, and then they take it over, and we start seeing tumbling on the
We
floor.
start making new pages every day for all kinds of people, cool people.
Young gymnasts for flat Earth. That's one that we got to come up with because I like that.
Computer programmers for flat Earth. Video editors for flat Earth.
Yeah. We have astronomers. I think we have engineers.
Musicians of all types. Violins, horns, kazoo, keys in your hand, anything.
Doctors for flat Earth. That's coming to that point. Scientists for flat Earth.
Farmers
for flat Earth. Farmers for flat Earth. People that are really...
Farmers have a lot to gain.
Yeah. Tree planters for flat Earth. Hunters for flat Earth. Explorers for flat Earth. Navigators for flat Earth. Captains of the flat Earth.
Absolutely. All those people that...
Ship captains for the
flat
Earth.
maps. They all use flat maps. They get lost on a globe.
Flat Earth seamen.
That's the other thing, is if you can't use a globe, as a map, then it's not real.
Flat Earth map makers.
If you can't use the globe as a map, if you can't sail by it, then it's not real. We're not on a globe.
Rabbis for flat Earth. Priests for flat Earth. Nuns.
Definitely priests and nuns, of course, but
priests and nuns for flat Earth.
Altar boys for flat Earth.
Altar boys for flat Earth.
Light it up.
Teachers for flat Earth.
Flat
Earth monks. Flat Earth Buddhist monks.
Fragrance makers. Flat Earth fragrance. Flat Earth fragrances.
Did you say flat Earth faggots?
Fags.
Flat Earth fags.
Flat Earth fags.
Fags for flat Earth is a good one.
Fag Earth.
Fags seem to be the last ones on this movement.
Ultimate. Yeah, they're not gonna.
The gays just don't dig it.
No.
They don't dig it at all.
Lesbians for flat Earth.
There's
fishermen for flat Earth.
Weather balloons to your lawn chair. Those guys that do that shit for flat Earth.
No.
Flat Earth pilots.
Gotta do it.
Veterans for flat Earth. Ex-NASA employees for flat Earth. Shoemakers for flat Earth.
Absolutely.
What do you call them? Cobblers. Cobblers for flat Earth.
I went to see a cobbler about a hole in my shoe. He took one look at me and said, I could fix that hole in you. I said, no thank you, mister. I ain't looking for no cure. Seen a lot of my friends that got sick on blues.
Bluesmen for flat Earth.
Blues harp players, harmonica players for flat Earth.
Flat Earth choirs. Singing lessons.
Vocal coaches for flat Earth.
Vocal lessons for flat Earth.
Vocal lessons for flat Earth.
Vocal flat Earth.
In general.
Just vocal.
Just in general.
Songwriters for flat Earth.
Songwriters for flat Earth.
United.
Flat Earth housekeeping.
We should come out with a new record of all the new songs that people have wrote about flat Earth in the last year.
We were just doing that again last night.
Do you believe in pink unicorn? Do you believe in the pink?
What is that? That's pretty new age.
You mean you don't believe in a pink unicorn?
You mean...
When I hear somebody say you don't believe the earth is round, I know they mean ball. It's like, you don't believe in pink unicorn?
Listen, the earth is not as round as you think. It's actually pretty lumpy and pretty bumpy.
Globe and pink unicorn.
You know...
Both you've never experienced with your senses. Directly looking at a full globe. Like if Pink Unicorn and Globe are together.
We're not, I'm telling you, this is not, there's like maybe 3 minutes of good content in everything we filmed tonight.
You don't believe the Earth is a ball? You don't believe in Pink Unicorn? So you don't believe the Earth is a ball. So what? Next you're going to tell me you don't believe in Pink Unicorn. You know? So you don't believe the Earth is a ball.
It's
well,
good.
Next day you don't believe it. And next he's going to say he doesn't believe in Pink Unicorns.
Idiot.
Fucking idiot.
You always do that like a kitty cat. You have my lipstick on your forehead, babe. Get that off cam. God, you gorgeous, sexy fucker.
Oh, beautiful. Always.
Do you ever just make a sex tape or what?
Comment down below. Should we leak the sex tape? Yes or no? Comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel.
That's what YouTubers sound like.
So we have Flat Earth.
Hey guys, so yeah.
Flat Earth art, Flat Earth fashion.
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth porn.
Flat Earth.
Next.
Oh no.
Is that it? Like Christian music, Christian porn, Christian cuisine. We gotta do Flat Earth cuisine. We gotta do everything Flat Earth.
Flat noodle.
Now the worst part of it is there's gonna be some Flat Earth porn out there. That's the worst part. And then they're gonna have some video called Math Power Gland.
No, right?
Power
I
Gland.
bet I can prove the curvature. I bet.
Power Gland. He's the guy that could do this. He's the one that could test the curvature. Power Gland. Agent Power Gland.
Oh God.
I show up, I go, Agent Power Gland. Apparently there's somebody trying to calculate curvature. I'm here to detect curvature.
I mean, is that a crime? Or whatever?
No, ma'am. I do it all the time.
Really?
But I got my training and my license in it. I'm a professional. Like, I always find curvature. Always find curvature. With this flat.
Is that
all
real?
day long.
Oh, please delete, babe.
There was nothing.
This is for our personal private stash for the
All day long. The Flat Earth Palace.
No.
Kyle should intercut her talking to him, take her, and then put me.
You get into a car, you simply tell the car where to go. The car then maps out the trajectory and figures out where the traffic jams are and takes you where you want to go.
What about,
I could have told you that.
Well, look at medicine right now. In your bathroom, you will have more computer power than a modern hospital, so that your toilet will pick up proteins emitted from cancer colonies of maybe 100 cancer cells 10 years before a tumor forms. The word tumor could disappear from the English language simply because your bathroom will pick up proteins, enzymes, DNA fragments from cancer cells before they even form a tumor. And then we're going to have something called nanoparticles, which can actually zero in and kill individual cancer cells like smart bombs. So instead of chemotherapy, in which case you vomit, you throw up, your hair falls out, instead of chemotherapy, we'll be able to use nanoparticles, molecules that can zero in on cancer and kill them.
series of inventions.
The very fact that they can go out there rather than being assassinated is a testament to democracy. Let me ask you a question, right?
Let me ask you one more question about...
Okay, let me ask you a question now. On tape, let me ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Who is behind 9/11? What do you think is behind 9/11? Let me ask you that question. Let me ask you a question.
I heard
Who
your
was
question.
behind 9/11?
Mr. Kako,
answer me a simple question. Who is behind 9/11? I give you the courtesy of being on your show. You should give me the courtesy of answering one simple question. Who was behind 9/11? Are you a conspiracy theorist?
Not
Are you
really.
these people that think that maybe George W. Bush toppled his own building?
well, okay,
Who
I
is
think
behind 9/11?
I do tend to believe in this.
Making the world that we live in, it's quite possible the future that we're going to live in, we're all going to experience it, is completely different from the world we live in now. That's why we call it the future. See, in the future, we're going to have the ability to avoid sleep. People won't sleep because of nanobots. Nanobots that will do the same reaction, chemical chain reactions, a lot of people get from caffeine and coffee, or other types of chemical stimuli flowing through your blood. Blood will no longer exist. But a state of vacuous energy, floating particles, streaming and beaming. Every human being. Animals will be merged with machines, and raccoons will be robots. Squirrels will have the ability to do psychiatric evaluations on some of the world's top science, and water will flow like candy. Eyeballs will be the future of contact lenses. Contact lenses will be holodecks that we all seem to participate in. The world that we're creating now, the world that we create together. Who did 9/11? Who did 9/11? I'm asking you, who did 9/11? Who do you think did 9/11? Are you one of these conspiracy theorists? Who did 9/11? Who did 9/11?
Answer me a simple question.
I'm asking you,
Who was behind 9/11?
who did 9/11?
Are
Who
you
do you
conspiracy
think
theorists?
did
Are you
9/11?
these people that think that
Are
maybe
you
George
one
W.
of
Bush
these
toppled his own building?
conspiracy theorists? Boo, boo, boo! No, it could be days before the whole system is reset. I couldn't even start thinking about setting up a shop for it when it needs to be.
Well, what do you think?
I have no idea. This
like
the flat Earth is
style into like the stone or something.
Well, we were looking at the metrics, and it's like last year in Russia, total video count for flat Earth when you put it in Russian, on Russian Yandex.
It's viral over there. Right?
4,000. Well, now it's 66,000.
Well, there you go.
It's like, so they got to have their World War. They're waking up in every country.
They're probably getting the same propaganda that we are, right? Like you said in one of your videos, they're telling the Russian populace the same shit that we're being told about.
Well, it's like Romania,
except it's Sputnik and it's
Italy. I'm translated in all these other nations.
Mm-hmm.
They
got
now
their own state propaganda.
The advertisers are pulling off of Google. People are reports of people of not getting paid by their advertising on their videos. They're not getting paid their monthly. So something's going on.
Well, I could definitely see there would be some shenanigans in Russia. They probably get away with that a lot easier.
Well, I think
people are going to raise a
the internet is collapsing because of the flat Earth.
Could be. It's normalized.
They need to regulate it. Have a nuke go off. Some excuse.
Did you see the video somewhere in McAllen, Texas? There's this huge freight train, and it's got like 300 tanks, M1A1 tanks. It's all over the YouTube right now. But they're going all the way down to Panama, right? They're shipping all these weapons of war through Panama, and then the Navy's picking them up, and they're taking them over to North Korea to get ready for the ground invasion. Probably.
So Panama's being used right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a staging ground for the Navy. So something's happening. You know, whether or not we can affect the timeline, that's up to us. Like you did with the Orbital Dam. I mean, that could have been...
Yeah, well, that's still going on. It's getting worse.
Yeah, but...
I mean, it's unbelievable.
But the likelihood of that being a huge disaster was great whenever you made that first video about turn on your faucets. So the lake level has receded a little bit since then. So you screwed up the timing.
I screwed up.
Yeah, you threw a...
solution that was very macro.
You threw a wrench in their spokes of the bicycles.
Macro individual hands-on.
Quantum entanglement.
Well, I was thinking, like, how many solutions do we have as individuals just collectively?
Quantum desanglement.
But you did it.
But if you could
shifted the timeline.
Yeah, well, individual quantum dynamics, where it's like there's a quantum action very quickly by many individuals fast. And that is dangerous for the establishment to see that kind of activity because it can just shut down anything they could be manipulating on the public.
So why are you wasting time on YouTube anymore?
I don't know.
What about like 4chan? What about like Reddit? Although Reddit's not video.
I mean, it's a lot of work. It's tedious. I'm looking for a
outlet.
format that just, it was all my eggs in one basket. But, at this point, it's like...
what about a radio show?
Like, I'm a painter. So it's like, I just can't believe that this thing got this big. I'm maintaining an expedition. I'm timestamped.
That's your goal, right? It's still to raise money and get grants and get government funding to go across and do the double traverse.
Let's be honest. This is a barn.
It's a what?
It's a barn.
Yeah.
We're in a big barn here. This is what's manipulating us.
It's a flat, cylindrical barn.
This is an area that's sorted off. What they tell us is this. The sun goes around it. Look.
Sphere porn.
It's a
sphere of influence.
It's pretty sad, but I mean, it's that alien. It's that big.
Influenza.
Yeah.
Influenza.
I don't like method acting. This thing is so, how can I say this? Warped into of itself. I think it's a privileged position for a performer.
I would say so.
For an actor. So, because it's like reality, and I can perform through it. So I get to move the whole thing like a performance. Whatever, they buried me. The whole thing, though, from an alien point of view, I've invaded the Earth. I invaded it. I came up with a curriculum, and I basically said, oh, by the way, that's that, and that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Talk amongst yourselves. Whoa! So I just came in and I shifted the system. I know I did.
Threw out the idea.
I threw the system out. They can have Eric Dubé or whoever takes credit. Anybody who does any proper, thorough research.
But you were the first one, and a lot of people on the internet do still cite you, Matt, to this day. Like,
I don't care about
people
that.
That go on
I want to
say, where did you first learn about flat Earth?
Yeah.
They said, well, it was this guy. I don't see him that much anymore, but his name was like Boylan. And then they'll start going to talk about, Eric Dubé and then Mark Sargent.
Yeah, I'm
you are still the original.
I'm just smitten that this whole thing.
Reveler of
but I'm just.
You revealed the whole thing. You peeled.
But I'm just.
Onion layers.
I'm just smitten that human beings caught wind of this in my lifetime.
Yeah, this is your ultimate.
that was That was fun.
Yeah.
That it got this out of control. Well, because it could have been just like.
But it's not over. You're talking about.
I didn't know people were gonna wake up.
Past tense. It's not past tense. It's just.
Oh, it's pretty huge now. We're
now in the heyday of it. It's like.
This is ridiculous now.
The potential.
The metrics are off the roof.
The metrics are off the roof. I mean, you're talking about kinetic potential energy here.
So
this stuff is just starting. It's just beginning.
Yeah. So the system is like anybody could just come up to me and then say, how much do you think this expedition will cost? Anybody can.
Oh yeah.
And then they'll make their money.
Yeah.
And they'll make their money.
Right.
So it's just that in itself is a red flag that the system is in complete collusion to try to avoid and contain and ignore them. Okay, what do we do? They woke up. They're coming towards us. I mean, they must be freaking out.
So we got to create some.
So they're ignoring it
novelty.
to the point they should.
Parachuting or school shooting.
They're
or
denying.
A bus runs off the road or a train derailment.
Well, they're denying their
World War
own
III.
free market principles. The demand is huge.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
They're ignoring the supply is ignoring meeting and demand. So what does that say about even a free and open market?
Right.
Because there's people out there in science, geography, film. They could easily do something epic on this expedition.
There's a lot.
Approach me, and then we do it, and it would just like make a lot. It would make a lot of bank.
Well, think about the petroleum industry, right? If there is more land, so there's got to be more petroleum. I mean, what do you think? Do you think there's like green giants 200 miles off?
I think 1,500 miles. You're going to be surprised.
Do you think it's like gravity inverts? Do you think that there's weird physics is not the same as it is here? There's less gravity, more gravity.
Well, you know
or
what?
Do you think there's the same resources, just in more plentitude? There's more.
Well, just the idea of being exposed to something and then it being brought back home that you never had back home, but then you just take it for granted.
Okay.
The potato didn't exist until Europeans came to. Yeah. For the Europeans, it didn't exist until they came to America. Yeah. So potato and corn. So what did they eat back? Just cabbage?
Cabbage, basically, right? Roots, carrots, and...
Cabbage and carrots? Who's this?
The model wearing the shirt.
Who the fuck is this?
I don't know, I'm telling you. It could be photoshopped onto a model, granted.
Well, the thing is that here's the situation. Here's the situation. This is basically my comedy routine. Now, the only people who would have the balls to fucking just take my show poster, take my shirt, and take the entire movement and put what is obviously a painting, right? So it ruins the experiment, unlike this one, which, just looking at it, let me turn this thing around. Just looking at it, just with the black background, it's obviously more realistic, even though we all know it's fake, but it gets it across. I'm walking 5 feet down the street. If I'm walking down the street with this, you want to film this for a second? Just so people can understand how this is NASA and it's not a real flat earther. And I'll explain to you why. I own the copyright of this image. Okay? This particular image. This one, I didn't sign a deal with NASA. This one was for me. Okay? So there's no NDA on this one. There's no non-disclosure agreement that I'm painting globes with this image. This is mine. Okay? This is a little fairy tale image. So when they go for a painting, people going painting, and they don't get it. So it ruins the whole exercise when you're walking down the street and you're triggering everybody going, I don't know. This one's like, no, painting. And they just leave it at that. They don't get into, are they all paintings? Oh my God, is it a painting? They don't have that. I painted this a certain way so that it would trigger the debate. And also protect you if you were to debate somebody. Because the whole time, they won't know. This is CGI. And someone's selling the shirt on eBay and Zazzle. This is the screen print, which is still good. Still more realistic than NASA's thing, but more realistic in the sense where it's more realistic, I did a better fakery of their fake model of the universe. That's an image owned by NASA. That's an image that has a non-disclosure agreement attached to the artist who did it. That's an actual painting of the Earth.
You realize there's 27 different models wearing this shirt, right? They've got hoodies. There's
It's like photo or painting, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't go, everybody goes painting. So they're selling my concept with something that's obviously a painting, and it's owned by NASA. And they're not getting charged with copyright violation? Folks, this is NASA destroying the exercise where people won't know, is it a photo or painting? When it's clearly a painting owned by NASA. These people are printing up shirts without NASA's approval to use their image and make money, and they're selling them for $30.
So I can't compete with NASA doing this and whatever legal firm they have and the people hiding behind the internet. What?
Touch it.
I don't. But please don't support them, because when you walk around the street with this shirt, you've been robbed of $30 by NASA, you fucking idiot. You've been fucking robbed by NASA every day on your taxes for any time you pull out money. Anytime I pull out money. Just the act. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just the act. Okay, I gotta pay for milk. How much is the milk? Or how much is the pasta? Or how much is the bread? I pull out money, oh, it's like $3. I pull out money, okay? And it's between me and the cashier. I pull out money, okay? There's an invisible person here taking a cut from me just pulling out money. Anytime I pull out money, it's not just between me and the person I'm giving the money to. There's a third party invisibly going, 4%, 7%. And there's a percentage of that percent that goes to NASA. So all those people think I'm a shill and an idiot because I used to work for NASA. You're buying a shirt from NASA, you fucking idiot, that destroys the entire fucking debate. It's clearly a painting on these models' shirts. So, you know, you go ahead. Keep giving money to NASA because A, they stole my copyright, and they're using a copyrighted image from NASA. So it's clearly NASA. I'm not gonna go up against NASA. I can't afford that. I can't. And then like photo or painting of the earth. But here's the valuable one. I'm the one. So you go ahead and put your money in NASA's pocket with their little rip-off of my shirt, and this is the real stock. On top of it,
God, sorry to interrupt.
What?
They're selling a women's Hanes one with the photo or painting on it for $2.95 fucking cents. There's one in here from Bella, which is $5.95.
Oh my God! And it's not even a realistic fucking fake globe.
Okay, so this one says $41.55. Sorry, when you click on it.
Let me see it. Let me just show your phone.
Okay, sorry, that's different. I'm sorry
It wasn't $2.
It says it right there, and then you click on it, and it's not that. So they're all different prices, like $32.20, $41.45. They're all different prices.
I mean, this is a big operation with many models that aren't photoshopped, like with a copyrighted image. Oh, they got it in white too?
They've got no. That one's not it. It's not it, babe. It's just a globe. They put just a globe.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, the Earth is a globe. The world is art. You know, like the whole concept is lost. The whole concept is lost.
These people.
That's NASA.
That's photoshopped onto models, but whoever's doing that.
Well, the fact that they're getting away with it is NASA.
I would like to call this buyer.
Can you get the phone number?
Flat Earth where?
Well, who's Flat Earth where?
Find out. You are.
Wow.
They have a bunch. Where's the curvature photo or painting?
Let me see. But they got a NASA image.
And it's really shitty.
And they're making money off a NASA image.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so bureaucratic. Like, just take them out.
Oh, look here, you got the ice wall, the 360 ice wall.
Oh, just take them out.
It's all about containment, folks.
Oh, just take out Math Powerline. Just do his shirt. Charge less. I mean, it's so easy for them, right?
So these are all photoshopped onto models. This guy, whoever Flat Earth here is, just took stock photos of models.
Okay.
And put them. I mean, if this guy's
that's just it. They can't.
These models probably did not approve them. This guy.
No, that could be a stock model. You go on stock images, you grab a black guy with a black shirt, and you pay for it.
Okay.
Because they couldn't have like Scarlett Johansson or whoever, or just regular people, because then it would look like a big operation. So just stock models that you could pay for, black shirts, photo and paste. That's it. But the image is owned by NASA.
Right.
So somebody's making money off a NASA image without their consent.
So either it's NASA or it's a dude that's in copyright violation of math or NASA. Yeah. You need to pick. Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, that's a perfect position also for NASA to hire a intermediary fall guy who just looks like a rogue renegade. And they're not going to clamp down on him. But you should, because that is not a Math Powerland shirt or question that started the Flat Earth movement.
Flat Earth where? We're going to take you down.
The Flat Earth movement was started by a picture painted by me declaring worldwide war on the globe as a false idol, as a graven image, as a religious symbol. Because you've never seen that point of view, and guess what? They are all icons. They are all icons and false idols. You've never seen that point of view, and they're all painted. And I know firsthand. So
he's got a
this is the real value. So anybody who's a smart art collector and can't afford a Math Powerland painting understands that, doing a custom-made caption and a screen print or a quality computer screen print DTG on black with this image that I own is the real valuable shirt. That's going to just go up in value. Now, people can say, oh, my shirt's too expensive, I'm a shill, I'm a sellout, whatever you want. World War III is about to happen because of the flat earth. I don't care what anybody says, I called it. You can look at all my old videos, and you can see what I've been saying. Even Matt Powerland sent a first flat earther into space. You can look at what I call that, and that's like in 2012. You look at that when they came to my hometown of Montreal, and they tried to say, we're going to put a civilian in space after this asshole just woke up the entire province of Quebec and all the French world that the earth is flat and all of the globes are paintings. We're going to come into your hometown, Powerland, and we're going to start a little space contest with a new company called SpaceX with our little mate man, Elon Musk. You look at that video, and you see what I call out in there. Because they didn't choose me, and I had the most votes to be the first civilian with SpaceX up in space. You look at that video. It shows a physicist, kid, student. So you look at that, and you see how I called out this whole game with Russia, Turkey, ISIS, the whole thing, North Korea. Look at it. So I'm going to make a deal with you. You don't think I'm real? Well, here's the challenge. Now it's your choice to prove you're real. I'm going to give every flat earther an opportunity to defend themselves when they're debating the flat earth by wearing this shirt. Not for $47, but for $25. $25. You gotta pay the shipping. Sorry folks, but it's not $47 plus shipping. I'm gonna do a limited time offer here, okay? If you call me out, I'm gonna give you a limited time offer to prove to me that you guys are worth it, that you really would buy it if it was cheaper. But I need 100 people in order to make a big run and then keep it at $25. So I need 100 people within 20 days of uploading this video to commit to this. If I don't have 100 people and I have 99 people, I'm refunding it. Because that means I can't go into large scale print at $25. I can't afford it. I can't go up against NASA. Now, here's how we're gonna prove that guy is NASA. The minute it goes to $25, will he reduce his price to $24? That's what we're gonna prove here. That all the idiots who fell for this $30 shirt have been giving money to NASA for something that destroys the debate because it obviously looks like a fairy tale painting of a globe.
You know what? So Zazzle has basically 3 different options. Products you can customize, makers who create and produce, and designers who design artwork. So this flat earth wear person has claimed that they're a designer who designs artwork. So now you're saying that you designed the artwork on this shirt? That's the blue marble. So I've been crying for what feels like a whole week now, and there's a lot of things to cry about, and there's also a lot of things that other people wish they could cry about. I know there's a lot of people that are going through real life issues, be it starvation or sickness, disease, but Math and I are newly married, and this whole thing is not easy for either of us. If you've been looking into a lot of this stuff for a while, you might be desensitized to it, or it might have completely changed you. For me, it hasn't been that long. It's only been like 1.5 years, 2 years that I've been researching everything, not even including flat. I've probably only been researching flat earth for just a little less than 2 years, like 1.5 years now. So there's still a lot that I don't know. There's a lot that we all don't know, but Math has been doing this for quite some time. And when you meet someone of that caliber of knowledge, they kind of expect you to be on their level and understand, what they're experiencing. It should be your reality too, but that's not always the case. So I think, I don't know what kind of impression people have of Math, but, to me, he's my husband. and it's not been easy. It's like we're constantly living in a state of not knowing when the world is gonna fall apart. And I don't even want to like do this, to be honest with you. I don't even want to sit here and cry, but it's a really stressful situation. I was talking to Rachel Snell, and she's really sweet, and hi Rachel, and I was telling her how I couldn't even hold it in anymore. I just stood in the middle of the street and started crying because I was thinking about all these poor little babies at Hollywood and Washington just taken, destroyed, and I can understand why people wouldn't want to know any of this stuff. I told Matt, why don't I just go back to the ball, just go back to the globe. It's easier sometimes to feel like you can live in blissful ignorance. But it's not easy because, that's kind of the reality that the devil paints for you, that, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the earth, you just bow down and worship me. It's like, if you're a Christian and you follow God, it's not going to be easy, but your reward is greater. So I guess I kind of want to appeal to the Christians who either know that it's flat or don't know that it's flat and that they have been lied to this whole time. These forces that come against the truth, they truly are evil. And it's really hard to even appreciate sometimes God's blessings when you saturate your brain with all this horrible shit. But, every... That bug almost attacked me. Anyway, if you're a Christian, then you already know that you're gonna face scrutiny, ridicule, persecution, regardless of what you preach. And don't think it's going to be any different, letting people know that they've been fooled, that their entire reality is a lie. It's not going to be any different. You're going to face persecution. You're going to. Our friends of ours are getting physically attacked because they've exposed the truth. And people are so stuck in their mental prison that they don't even want to get out. I don't care if the dam busts. I'm a surfer, I don't care. Math will die. If he gets water in his ear, it's not long before an infection could kill him. So some people are worried and some people are not, but that's my husband.
Zoom back.
I am now.
It was zoomed in, right?
Not that much, fuck. You just keep walking. You stay behind that line, because that's not my fault. No, this line right here. As long as you're behind this line, you're good.
Am I taller than the gold bar?
As of right now, yeah.
Sure.
We're gonna have to get a lot tougher than we are because we have problems that you wouldn't believe. During one of the debates, we have this guy, Lion Ted Cruz. We know nobody likes him. I've never seen the guy. In fact,
For almost 6 decades, NASA's work has inspired millions and millions of Americans to imagine distant worlds and a better future right here on Earth. I'm delighted to sign this bill. It's been a long time since a bill like this has been signed, reaffirming our national commitment to the core mission of NASA. I'm not sure we want to do it.
We could send Congress to space.
We could.
I got better things to do.
Home of the brave. Home of the brave.
I got better things to do. Watch me. You don't need to touch me. When I choose to be your group. I got better things to do. Watch me. You don't need to touch me. When I choose to do.
So, how anti-establishment are you when your building is shaped like a gold bar? Now, let's take that same candidate that run as an anti-establishment candidate to become president of the most powerful nation in the world and succeeds on being an anti-establishment candidate. Now, let me start this. So let me get this straight here. So you guys all voted for Trump because he's the anti-establishment candidate. Oh yeah. Shaping your buildings in the form of gold bullion, that's really anti-establishment, isn't it? I mean, this guy's really the fuck you, the F you to Washington that you need, or to the world or the globalists. A guy who has the money to erect tall buildings in the shape of gold bars is anti-establishment. Now that same character actually succeeds at becoming the president of the free world. Now how anti-establishment is he? So before he was president, he was building buildings in the shape of gold bars. And he fooled you to think he was anti-establishment so he could become president. Now how anti-establishment is he if he, before was president, was building buildings like gold bars and is now president? Does this work for you? Is he still anti-establishment? The only reason why you voted for him is because you're a greedy little pig who wants to be a rich asshole. That's why you voted for him. And that's what's sad about the United States of America, is they voted for a guy that they all want to be like, which is basically a bully, loudmouth, lying businessman who decorates the background of his hotels and rooms whenever he talks with the color gold. Yeah, real anti-establishment. Real anti-establishment. You know? That's like a guy walking around with a golden crown telling you he's against the system. He is the system, you idiot. He's the system. That's so funny. Like, when the system says it's anti-system. When one of their boys that's been on the TV box machine, you know, firing people because they can't run money-grubbing, sucking casinos in a lame, tacky hotel industry resort, is the leader of your world, is the role model for you. The guy who says, I just grab him by the pussy, because, you know, chicks will fuck famous people who got money, and, you know, cover themselves in gold. That's who you voted for, the 40%, not the popular vote. Now, there's people out there who, I don't want to redo this whole thing. How anti-establishment can you be if before you ran for the presidency of the United States, you were building large buildings in the shape of gold bullion? How anti-establishment? Hold on. So, my question is how anti-establishment can you be if before you ran a presidential campaign on being the anti-establishment candidate, you were building buildings in the shape of gold bars? So then that candidate wins off the pretext of being the anti-establishment and is now president of the United States. Now how anti-establishment is it to look at this and he's president now? You've been tricked. again and again and again. This is not a government. This is an agenda. Everything that's going on right now is total 180 turncoat. And this character, Alex Jones, is an agent. He's a warmonger. He's a Pied Piper. You fell for the trap. Now you got to follow this guy who's there because you thought he was a freedom speaker. He was a truther. Whatever the alternative media. But now he's behind a candidate who's doing exactly what you were all scared Hillary Clinton was going to do. Everything he's doing. Even like the slow tippy-toe excuse back to globalism. You know, me was the people who thought Trump was a flat earther. Trump was a truther. Trump was anti-establishment. How anti-establishment is it now? The guy who made buildings in the shape of gold bars is president. The problem is you can't come down from the mediocre rise of your ego and this really, really bad choice that you were tricked into by them playing two candidates. It's either this one or that one in your mind. And they preyed on false hope. You voted for this guy because of all the wrong reasons. Because he's always got gold behind him. Even now that he's president, he made sure that every backdrop in the White House is gold. He's a billionaire. He's cocky and rude. He's a flip-flopping liar under the excuse of being a businessman. Well, I've seen that kind of business on a used car lot. Now, what is the business of this man? Well, it's to build a building, not pay the salaries out, and then by the time it gets too late for him to be drawn into court for not paying salaries, the company folds and declares bankruptcy, dragging down with it thousands of other companies who were doing the brickwork, the stonework, the drapery, the plumbing, the electrical. And Google and the mass media, they hide those entries on the web. They bury it. And then what business was made in these buildings that were created? Resorts that prey on your pathetic hope of making a buck and hitting a lucky streak and getting out of poverty in casinos. Resorts. Whatever. You know, I've never lost anybody's money. I've never declared bankruptcy, let alone 4 times. This man has lost more money than I've made. This man has lost more money than I've lost. This man has lost more of other people's money than you and I and thousands of people combined. But managed to get bankrolled again and again after failure after failure, and won't reveal his tax figures, his business stats, what comes in and what goes out, and what's paid out, and now is in charge of your country. Launching missiles without investigation, scrambling warships into hot zones that destabilize regions under the pretext of being a businessman negotiating. Well, I hope your shit works, but it's right on time with what we calculated the witch was going to do anyways. To pull the plug on this civilization as we woke up to this science fiction you call a globe. Everything that is going on right now has been calculated by my political curriculum that the earth is not a globe, and a globe is a mere image you venerate and worship invisibly, like a religion, under the disguise of scientific fact, and barring you in from ever investigating and measuring the actual extent of this geographical surface you stand upon and all three-dimensional objects reside on. You are in a barn and you are waking up. There's a segment of this population rapidly growing and